Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Brass Junkies. I am your host, Andrew Hitz, and I am joined by my co-host, Lance LaDuke. Lance, you been anywhere cool this past week?
I went to the backyard the one day. That was nice. No, other than that, no.
I've been asking every student when I start an online lesson if they've been anywhere cool over the last week. And
my back porch.
Some of them find it funny, and then there's the rest of them. So, yeah. Anyway, we are here in, what is this, week 6 of, or 7 week of quarantining?
Must be 7, because I've been running, which is shocking to me, and I know that tomorrow starts week 7, so that's how I'm marking it.
There you go. Well, and some people have only been, quarantining for like 5 weeks, and that's the problem. But anyway, I digress. So we just had a very cathartic hour and a half with our former colleagues in Boston Brass. That was awesome.
So fun. It was really, really fun. I haven't looked into the eyes of a couple of those cats in quite a while, and yeah, it was great stories and a lot of mayhem, and then a lot of tender moments about Sam, and a lot of then some accidental content, as we are want to push every once in a while.
Speaking of accidental content, that would actually be
That's a good name.
If we ever rebrand this thing, then that's probably what's going to be called, Accidental Brass Content. Our latest 5-star review. Holy crap! There you go. Look at this, man. We are branding masterminds. Our latest 5-star review on Apple Podcasts is from Sun Devil Trumpet, and it is called Fun and Helpful. It would be an episode like this week. They are referring to Jeff Nelson from Canadian Brass that ends up having such actionable gems. Now I have to find a way to share it and give people the timestamps in case they don't want to go on the Easter egg hunt themselves with a smiley face, epic exclamation point. We were just telling the guys from Boston Brass after the call and after we recorded the bonus episode with them about how it was complete jackassery with Jeff, who is a dear friend, and for like 20 minutes, no one could finish a sentence, and then all of a sudden, he started dropping these absolute like pedagogy and performance gems. I mean, like seriously, like stop and be like, this is going to affect how I teach moving forward. And then there was more jackassery, and it was just like there was both at the same time at times, and coming from, usually it's either one of us or both of us, and the guest kind of keeps us on the rails, but Jeff was just as guilty as we were at getting it off the rails, and was occasionally like, wait, this is on the rails, let's get it. It was
but this is kind of like that times 5.
Exactly. So yeah, exactly. So anyway, thank you so much to Sun Devil Trumpet for leaving that rating and a review, and to everybody. And we're just going to get to this, but we just also want to mention quickly Patreon. If you want to hear the bonus episode, which was long for this with the Boston Brass Boys here, that with every guest we have a bonus episode, which can frequently run like another half hour with everybody. You can become a Patreon at patreon.com/the Brass Junkies. You don't become a Patreon, you become a patron, but you know what I mean. Yeah. This one has got some good stories, and we actually have a new thing called Brass Junkies Sundays, which we just recorded this live for a whole bunch of our patrons. What you're about to hear was recorded live, and then the bonus episode, actually, we had some of those people were asking questions of Boston Brass, and every Sunday we are recording bonus material, which you get for the various levels of support. So come check it out. And Lance, is there anything else that I'm forgetting here?
No, when things get back to normal, support Boston Brass. Go see them, buy their recordings, do stuff. These Andrew and I, but for the grace, are living indoors and eating food, and are not as affected by the fact that live touring musicians are not live touring right now. And so go support them whenever you can, however you can, wherever you can.
Even if that's now, that could be like buying merchandise. That could be buying a recording. And if you really want to, the most helpful thing is to try and figure out, and if you email an artist and ask this question, you will get an answer promptly, which is, I would like to buy your most recent recording. Where can I buy it where you will get the most money for it, right? Because the answer ain't iTunes. Sometimes it's Bandcamp, and I don't even know if their stuff is on Bandcamp. There's sometimes you can buy it directly from the artists. But now is the time to support people like Boston Brass if you want them to exist on the other side of this, which I think all of us desperately do. You need to support it. And I wasn't going to read another review, but this one just caught my eye. We got a 5-star review on 10/11/2018, and it's a 5-star review. The username is Actual Jim Comey, and the title is Adequate Podcast, and the review is only one sentence. It is, out of all the podcasts that I listen to, this is certainly one of them.
Nice.
That's
Thank you, Actual Jim Comey.
Thank you, Actual Jim Comey. So I think on that note, we're not going to set this up any better. Without further ado, let's get to the conversation that we had with Boston Brass. Hello and welcome to... I'm not supposed to start it that way because we're recording an intro later. All right,
You've only done what, 130 of these, 140 of these things?
That's right.
And I'm supposed to now say that it is a pleasure and an honor to be joined by these 5 gentlemen, but I don't want to be struck by lightning. So we just thought it would be good for downloads. So we've got Boston Brass here. Jeff, how are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Yeah, I don't really care. Chris, how are you? Nothing translates better to a podcast than thumbs up. Jose, I mean this. How are you doing?
Better than you.
That hurt my feelings. Jose.
Again.
My feelings again. It's like I'm back in the band again. All right, and well, hell, I've had as many Boston Brass gigs this month as William has. Boom. And sorry, too soon. Too soon. William, how are you?
I'm doing fine, man. It's great to see you again.
See, look at that. That's like a normal human.
Jeez.
That's a normal human way to answer that question. And
that's why he doesn't have tenure yet.
Well, yeah, I was going to say. How old are you, William?
Everyone gets to play that game. If you can guess how
old are you, man?
Can guess how old I am, you get like a free CD or something.
Like they want one.
You got to get closer.
Do I get a CD player too?
I might have one of those right here.
Oh, there's a little known fact that
T-Pain's joining the call tonight.
There we go.
God.
Oh my God.
Is it doing it again?
Chris, this is you. Chris, this is you.
All right. Hold on. I need to finish here. He's going to get mad. Domingo, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, man. Thank you so much.
That's 2 in a row. We just started with the three knuckleheads. So Lance,
and well, notice it was the 2 that we didn't work with. Like, were very nice and answered politely. And...
Well, duh.
Well, now I did work with Domingo for like a full 4 months. But since I was on the way out and I wanted him to actually like me, he didn't work with me. He worked with my representative. I was super friendly to him the whole time. I was in a good mood. I smiled. Okay. I asked him how he was doing and cared. He got a different me than Jeff, Chris.
Did I get the real you then?
Good. Yeah, they got the real me.
You got the White House Andrew Hitz.
I don't even understand that, but I'm just going to keep moving.
Oh yeah, you do.
Lance, why don't you ask them an interesting and insightful question?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next question.
All right. So. All right, here's a softball. So what are you guys doing since you can't go on the road? How is Boston Brass keeping the brand alive, other than going on crappy podcasts to try and keep this train rolling down the road?
Good luck monetizing this, gentlemen.
Well, thank you, thank you, Lance, for asking that question. Andrew, yeah,
my pleasure. Plenty more where that came from, Mr. Connor.
we've been doing some happy hours online. We're having a great time with that. We have
Alcoholic.
we've made a couple videos, and right now just trying to figure out how we're looking into next season and making sure we have a season. I mean, that's pretty much what I've been focusing on, making sure.
How's that looking? Is it
Nope.
clear yet? I mean,
nobody knows anything,
do they? Yeah.
So.
And so how far in advance are you guys planning online content or virtual content?
Indefinitely. I mean, at least through the summer. Sure. Hopefully things will all be working in the fall. Everybody listening and yeah, it's all going to depend if school start, if we can do concerts. I'm really focusing kind of January on.
How are the fans reacting? I would guess that there's been a nice. I mean, my sense of it is that my hunch is that you're probably getting the kind of support that our local businesses are up on the main drag, where people who are diehard Boston Brass fans really care about the group and want the group to keep going, and so they're trying to support you guys. What kind of feedback have you been getting?
I mean, the support has been positive. I mean, just a lot of support. I mean, hoping that we get back out on the road again and have a chance, just being able to do what we do, doing, what we do for music education and our concerts, our collaborations, and everything that we do.
Yeah, I think it's the case for most people who are principally live performers right now, that we're not getting much tangible support, right? I mean, it's just like, if we're not playing concerts, what are we doing? So of course we are filling the void. We're doing some online stuff right now, but very scary situation indeed.
The other thing that's been great is, I'm sure all the viewers know, I mean, the videos that Jose, Chris, and Domingo have been putting out have just been incredible, and they're getting, so a lot of content is, a lot of people are seeing that. So that's been
Hey,
great.
Jeff, you do know that this is a podcast, right? We don't have viewers.
Is this thing on?
Hey, do I still sound like a robot?
Unfortunately, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Hey man, this is awesome. So like nobody can see us, so I can make faces and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
It's just like being on stage when you're not on the mic. Nobody can see the other four people.
That's right.
At least that's how we always acted.
Yeah.
Still do.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Andrew, you had like the unique ability to like scratch your nose and your head while you were playing a tuba solo
with his big toe.
Yeah, well, in the second half, all of you damn arrangers would never let my face off the mouthpiece, which I know is only so that I wouldn't talk either in rehearsal or in concerts. But so I would just, if I had an itch, it's like, what am I going to do? Wait for 8 minutes or just take care of it? So yeah, man. And a tuba, you can.
Jeff, what do you got there? Iced tea with
Just
orange
iced tea.
slice?
Sweet iced tea.
Just iced tea. No, you're out of oranges.
Extra glass of
things
ice?
are getting rough, huh?
Extra glass of
Oh
ice.
yeah, there's a lot of
There
ice.
you go.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's pretty good.
yeah.
Hey, look at there.
Castellanos with the
Castellanos
Brass Junkies
drinking
mug.
out of a Brass Junkies mug. Way to go.
There you go.
So what was the last gig? Like, how did it fall out? Where were you guys when news came that it was all hitting the fan and you were going to
We had a concert scheduled March 13th for the Chicago Brass Festival. So on March 11th, we had made the call to see if everything was still on, because things were starting to shut down then, and everything was a go, and everybody, William lives in Chicago, but the rest of us were all flying to Chicago. And as we got off the plane, we got the news that the university shut down, concerts been postponed. So we all just
we found out after
we landed. Yeah. So
I found out while I was taking off.
Oh no!
Man.
Really?
Yeah. I got on the plane, they shut the door, and then I got a text from our manager saying, "Are you on the plane?" It's like,
wait, did you do the calculus?
Make it a double.
Did you do the calculus of, is there a way to act up enough that you get thrown off a flight before it takes off without actually going to jail? Like, I don't know if that's possible.
I kind of wanted the miles.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it is important. But No, it was a drag though, because he was like, "Can you get off?" He was like, "The gig is off," and I was like, "I can't get off the plane." He was like, "All right." So, yep, just flew there. We all had dinner together,
And then flew back.
Flew back.
Yeah.
You guys almost got
wow.
stuck at Williams' place for like 6 months.
Good luck fitting here.
That would be a hell of a reality show, man. If you got a brass quintet that was stuck to shelter in place for 6 months.
Talk about the odd couple.
That would be
awesome. I think more good luck getting invited to his place.
He doesn't even live in Chicago yet. He doesn't even live in Illinois. He just doesn't want to tell you guys.
I just live in front of this white wall.
He lives in Nashville. He's just never even told Jose.
Yeah, keep it that way.
Well, the worst thing about all that was the band was coming to play at my college where I teach, Northeastern Illinois. That Chicago Brass Festival was at NEIU. So I was like finally looking forward to everyone being there. I was like, wow, people are gonna get to see me play in Chicago with this cool band that I'm in, and like people in Chicago think I don't have a gig because I'm not here. So
they don't believe you're actually in the band. Like photoshopped
people in Chicago. Photoshopped your face. In Chicago just think I just say no to gigs because I'm like, that's all they know me for.
You inherited a lot of money, and rather than saying no to everybody, you just made up a gig. Yep. Right, I like it. Yeah, that works.
There's a lot of things that we think William has made up.
Oh, please do tell.
Do tell.
No, he's a little bit of a mystery. We don't know, it's like he comes on the road and he's a great guy and he's one of the guys for years now. But, he's kind of like Jose in where you don't know anything about his home life, Perfect. It's like he leaves that at home and he leaves that at home. Is where I'm like super annoying now that I've got kids and stuff. I come out on the road, I'm like, you look at this video that I took of Orion. And
we love seeing
like all this funny stuff, Yeah, sure.
You think I want my family to meet you guys? I don't think so.
I'm adding to the show notes. Will leads a double life, just in case you were wondering.
We'll bond.
It would be funny. It would be funny if Jose had 3 kids and none of us knew.
Hey.
I'm sure he's got more than that.
Maybe I don't know.
So Jose, how's the teaching been? Are you still in session right now?
I finally finished yesterday, man, but it's been brutal. I'm sure you experienced it teaching online, man. Just,
all the fun.
Yeah, and it's just exhausting. Yeah.
It's more tiring, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. It takes double the work because you're trying to figure it out if you can hear the guy or not, if he's really doing what he's doing, or the internet's accelerating, he's playing, or I don't see any accelerando written in. Oh, okay, it's not you. Yeah, it's
lag.
So yeah, it's been challenging, but I am blessed that I have a job, man, and I can do what I can do. Especially right now, it's not easy.
Yeah. Well, I feel for you. I mean, I just can't imagine being in that boat. I'd been screwed every way possible if I was still in the band, because I just didn't have a backup plan there. So I'm hoping things go back the right way for you guys.
Hope so.
Well, I have a job too right now. If you go to your local Walmart, just make sure that when you're in the cereal aisle and it looks really nice, you can thank me.
Nice. I thought you were saying you were a greeter wearing a mask. You're like, Chris at Walmart.
I just missed something. You're responsible for tidying up the cereal aisle in every Walmart. What's going on?
I actually travel. No,
it's a road gig.
Yeah, it's a road gig.
He just invented teletransportation. He just doesn't want to tell you.
Nobody can square up the Cookie Crisps quite like Castellanos.
That's right.
Cinnamon life.
Cinnamon.
That's good. That's good stuff right
Chris,
there.
cinnamon. Chris, cinnamon.
I know. It's good pod. Sorry.
How about you, Domingo? How are you holding up?
Oh, well, man, I just the way I see this situation is like somehow it just pumped me up like to practice more and actually open up a window of meeting like people that I kind of never thought about. And the way I see things is I just have to look at it in a positive way. Otherwise, you get drawn into like, the abyss, But being, meeting people, talking to people, doing interviews, practicing like hell, doing videos, playing with people, around the world, and it's so far it's been great. It's within the scene of the pandemic and all and the negative part of it. I just kind of want to see on the good side, on the positive side of it, and it just pumped me up. I feel like I should just keep on going and just wait to see what happens in the future. But I just want to be ready for the future, whatever comes up.
Well, I guess that is the silver lining, is this crazy amount of time.
Yep.
And so I understand you guys are making videos. Are there other kind of cool, like longer term or bigger creative projects or things you're learning, or like how are you taking advantage of the time on your hands now?
Well, in my case, I have been disconnected from like Latin America for a long time, and somehow I'm connected again with like the people down there, and it's been fun in a way that you can talk to them, and they're reaching out for like help, for information, for just to talk to you, just to know you, and that brought out the human side of the whole thing, the musical world that many people just sees, on the net or on Facebook or whatever. And now they're able, and I was talking to one of the guys the other day that this is nothing new, but since we were always busy, we never took the chance to sit down and actually reach out to people and just like have this kind of conversation. So within the dark side, the bright side just came out of people, and I think things are going to change for sure, but they're going to be in a good way, like people are going to be reaching in more into the human side than just the business side of it.
It's pretty wild how
beautiful.
easily we were able to get all of you on here, right? I mean, we could have made this work under normal circumstances, but we would have had to have had like a ton of warning, right? We probably would have had to have waited until like the main season ended, and it would have been one of those things where we would have had to have, and if like one of you had gotten like a big gig for that night or recording session, then you appropriately would have had to have rescheduled. Like we could have done it, but it would have been hard. And this was just like, I was like, hey, well, Chris Bill, who's on this call right now, we were like, when Lance and I were like, let's interview him. And then I was like, well, I'll check and see if he's free. And then Lance was like, this is right when it first started. Lance was like, I bet he's free. And sure enough, like we were just like, we're like, so can you do tomorrow at like 10 a.m.? And he was like, yep. I mean, it's crazy. It's insane that we're all, and so the fact that we're all able to connect like this is a silver lining. So yeah, for sure. Hey, you know what? Speaking of silver linings, I want to thank Parker Mouthpieces for providing the hosting for the Brass Junkies. Hey. Parker Mouthpieces offers fine, customizable component mouthpieces for horn, trombone, euphonium, and tuba, including the Andrew Hitz artist model tuba mouthpiece and the Lance LaDuke model euphonium mouthpiece. You can find out more at parkermouthpieces.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So back to Domingo. That was.
Hey, Parker's got a theme song now.
There you go.
That's the
You should charge him.
ending of the infomercial.
There's one more coming.
Yep.
You got to come up with
There's one more coming.
Awesome.
So Domingo, I want to hear the story of our late dear beloved friend Sam Palafian. The final record that he ever produced was your solo record. Tell us what that was like.
Well, it was a unique experience, like personally and professionally. And we've been talking, Sam, and actually Jose and I, because we always, we're riding in the same car. We were talking about that project for like a year and a half before we did the recording, and actually it was him like to push me, like, Domingo, it's time to record. I said, time to record what? Just time to record your CD. And so it was an amazing experience just knowing that he was, on my side, just knowing that he was all the way through it. And actually, when we did the recording, actually we postponed it like 3 times because he was dealing with treatments and the sessions and stuff. So every time we had the place set up and everything, we would talk, and I said, Domingo, you know what? I won't be able to make it for whenever, for August. I said, well, that's fine. We just postpone it. We just do it whenever we do it. Okay, let's talk about another time. Boom. Okay. The month went by, and actually there was another opening in October. So I said, Sam, there's another opening in October. Do you think we can make it? So yeah, sure, do it, book it. Boom. I booked it like 2 months in advance. A month before, Sam, Domingo, you know what? I'm going to start a new session, or I won't be able to do it. We're going to have to postpone, or just do it with someone else. I said, no way, man. This is our thing. I just do with you, or I'm not going to do it anyway. Okay, let's look for another date. We finally got another date in January last year. So I talked to him on December, around mid-December, just to check on him, and he sounded really weak. And I said, Sam, how are we doing for next month? I said, yeah, you just book the dates. And I said, Sam, but are you sure you're okay? I mean, do you feel like doing it? And I say, I'm going to be fine by then. I'm going to be fine by then. Okay, book the dates, just lock them up, and so we're just doing it. So on January, like 3 days before we were supposed to meet in Kansas, I said, Sam, how are we doing? And he sounded really, really weak. I said, are we doing this? Or no. Domingo, we're doing it. Okay, fine. I'll pick you up at the airport on Saturday. I flew in on Friday just to have everything ready, and he was supposed to fly in on Saturday. There was a snowstorm Friday night, and his flight got canceled. So he couldn't make it on Saturday. So when the thing just started on that, okay, this is the start of the recording session. Okay, let's see what happens. I called him up. I said, I'm flying in tomorrow, and we're supposed to start. Actually, we're planning on doing a sound check on Monday and have everything ready on Monday. I start recording on Tuesday, and they're recording till Friday because the next Saturday, Boston Brass had a gig somewhere. So we were flying out on Saturday. He flew in. We spoke on Saturday. And I said, Domingo, can you call the engineer and have the mics, everything with the session ready so we can do a sound check on Sunday? And I hadn't even rehearsed with the pianist yet. Because I was gonna use the weekend to rehearse and sit down with him and just go over the pieces, right? He couldn't make it in. There was a snowstorm. I couldn't even go to the school to rehearse. So I was at the hotel on Saturday. Sunday, went to the airport, picked him up, went back to the hotel, left him at the hotel, went to school, started rehearsing. I picked him up, went to school, started doing a sound check, and he was just sitting down taking notes. And I was just reading the pieces, just rehearsing, and just tempos and just making notes and stuff. He said, Domingo, we're starting tomorrow. Just since we're doing the sound check on Sunday, we're starting tomorrow. I said, why? Just so we can just get rid of it. Okay, perfect. Starman, I said, so Sam, this is the funny part. How are we going to do this? Because that was my first kind of experiencing the solo, the solo recording. Said, do I record? And I'm going to blame you, Jose, on this. So do I do takes, and then I go into the booth and then we both listen to it? And he says no, and I say, what do you mean no? I said, no, you're not gonna come in here. You're not gonna listen to any of that. I said, okay, wait. What do you mean I'm not gonna listen to any of that? He said, no. He said, what do you bring me for? I said, what are you gonna produce? Okay, that's it. So I'm gonna be your ears. I said, yeah, but what if I don't like it? Then fire me. So we started the recording on Monday, and I said, can I listen to it? He said, no, you can listen on Sunday. I said, can I listen to it? Yes, you can listen to it, just to make sure that you like the sound and the levels. I said, so what happens when, with the articulation? So I'll deal with it. So we started recording, and thank God, and I thank him like forever. Everything went through smoothly. We had a couple of times we had to stop because he wasn't feeling good. We had to stop, and I had to give him a break. And pretty much, I mean, the energy that he had. I mean, he was like dying and he was all positive, all energy, or just pushing you forward, just giving you the best, tips and energy, and I mean, he was amazing all the way through. And at the end, I mean, I'm sad that he didn't get to listen to the final product, because he left us before he was ready. But it was so special, and the friendship, the relationship that we had, that's why I dedicated the recording to him. That's why it's called Eternal Gratitude. So I think it's the most important musical project I have done in my life. So I always thank him, and it's for him.
Amazing.
What would you guys say? Here's an impossible to answer thing, and however you answer it is perfect. What would you say is are the lasting takeaways of your time with him? And it can be anecdotal. It could be things that you learned. Like what was that experience for you guys? What was the aftermath of that, or the growth?
I think for me, it was the importance of leaving a footprint wherever you go. That it wasn't about a concert, just doing a concert. It was about having that impact with students and teaching. And that was, in terms of what I took from it, from Sam.
Jose just noticed that I changed. Jeff's
what is up with
name.
that? Jeffy 10 and 2. What? Why? What?
That was touching, Jeff.
What is it? What was?
I knew that.
What is that?
I knew.
It's beautiful.
That's what JD used to call you, because when you
JD
walk,
you walk like
your
a
feet
duck.
point at 10 and 2.
That's pretty good.
The penguin.
And the fact that that Jose saw that's what it said right as you said this heartfelt thing about Sam, and then he was laughing, and then he looked at my face because he knew who did it, and then we were like quietly, that was funny. Jose and I had a moment. We're getting along. I know it's weird. Just deal with it. Who else wants to answer that question?
There was a huge thing that for me, it was always to be a learner. It didn't matter what it was, you had to be learning the whole time. Otherwise, you may as well just be wasting your life.
Yep.
Yeah. So to me, that's as a musician and as a professional, that's the best gift that he could have left us. And then, I mean, and personally, it's just it just doesn't stop, man. Every day you would learn so much from Sam, and he would never stop giving people, it would never stop. It was such an amazing inspiration for all of us. And the most important thing to me also was that everywhere he was, in every room he walked in, he would just lit up the room, with his presence, and then his personality, and then his knowledge. So that was just pretty incredible. Yeah.
Anytime I was at a tuba conference and I didn't feel like talking to people, it was always nice to be with him, because people will, in a nice way, people will hound me at tuba conferences unless I was standing next to Sam, and then they would just hound him, and I could just stand there and just take it in. So it made my life easier. So, William, what was it like taking over the gig from your teacher?
Man, that was really interesting, because a few weeks before I came to fill in for Sam, I had actually gone to see Boston Brass in Chicago on the South Side at what was that, Vandercook College of Music.
Yep.
And I almost missed that concert. I was teaching up at my school, which is on the sort of northwestish side, and I'm like, oh man, am I going to make it or not? I unfortunately had my last student of the day cancel, so I rode the train down there. And I was just like, I haven't seen Sam in years at that point. And I'm like, wow, this is, I got to make that connection again. So I did. I came down, and it was great. Sam, chatted with me afterwards. And at that point, I'm not sure if he had heard anything from his doctors at that point, but it wasn't more than 2 weeks later that he called me on the phone.
No, he didn't know anything by then.
Okay, right. That's what I
He
thought.
didn't know anything. Yeah.
No. So he called me no more than 2 weeks later, and at this point, I'm out in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, teaching, doing the studio private lesson thing at high schools out there, pulling my hair out, commuting over an hour each way, just like about to lose my mind. I'm like, this is it. This is the year I quit the tuba. This is one of those things, and which I say that every year, but that was feeling more like it than ever. But so I'm out there teaching, and I'm literally sitting in the parking lot of this school, and Sam calls. I'm like, what is going on here? So, yeah, I'll take the call from Sam, of course. I can't remember the last time he called me ever. So yeah, he read it out, and he's like, yeah, I need you to plan for me within the week. So everyone got on the horn with me. I got on the horn with everybody. They shipped me the music. They're like, okay, we need you to memorize, I don't know, 4 or 5 tunes, and there's not any sheet music for it, so good luck. So,
that's right. Right.
So that was week 1, and it wasn't even just like learning the core Boston Brass show. It was also a show with an orchestra. So there was extra stuff, extra repertoire. So I got put through the grinder those first couple weeks, because we did every kind of show you can imagine, except for the core repertoire show, I would say. So it was a pretty interesting initiation, that's for sure.
Initiation is the right
word. If any of you are watching and seeing that, you're not going to have a hard time believing this, but if you see either Lance or I like laughing or smiling at a weird time, it's because Jose is texting Lance and I while you are talking. So just let you know that that you were like in the middle of something that it wasn't sad or serious. It was just there wasn't anything, and I was like, and that's Jose. So
I'm sorry. I promise I will behave.
No, no need.
Not so much.
Hey Lance, why don't you tell these people about the Papert people?
This is a perfect time to talk about the Papert people, particularly since you just asked me to. The Mary Papert School of Music at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is a fine institution, and they have been longtime supporters of the Brass Junkies. So if you're interested in finding about the going on in the faculty that you could study with, virtually, I guess, right now, the programs and performance opportunities at Duquesne University at the Mary Papert School of Music, you can go to the show notes for this episode, click on the link, and you'll be taken to a page designed just for you. And very, 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 very special thanks to Jim, Chris Bill as a punk, Nova for making this possible. Jim, I mean, it was his idea for that nickname. I don't know what that's about. I guess that's between you guys, I guess, but I don't know. What do I know?
George!
Nova! It's a good one behind Chris. These guys are taking turns putting pictures up behind them. And it looks like I'm sitting, Chris Bill is sitting in my lap right now, which you draw your own
I think
conclusion.
the reason that he's messing with you is because you're not calling him Christopher. Remember the rebranding? Remember his that was not an oversight. His branding specialist, like that, that he pays enough money to that the only way he can sleep at night is to follow all of their recommendations. So
it's going in the show notes as Chris Bill is sitting in Lance's.
He is moving around a lot in your lap too. Just
I know.
Okay.
So moving right along, Castellanos has a very disturbing picture up for his Zoom background.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
like
which
one.
The brass recording project that that Lance and I did with Rich Kelly and Kevin Gibo, and I don't remember who the horn player was. Who was the horn player? Who? I don't remember. Jason Ayub. No, it wasn't
it? It was the guy from the Army, Joe, right?
No, it was JD.
Joe, that's right. Marathon Joe.
It was JD Shaw. Anyway, he's an up and comer. He lives down in North Carolina.
You're half right.
but we, for our Kickstarter campaign, we Will Houchin found a family. He found, oh no, it didn't go over my head. I just kept right on moving. So yeah, that's
keep rolling. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's a defense mechanism around these parts. Well, and I got practice with all of you jackasses behind me when I was on the mic. So that actually has enabled me to concentrate through. That's helped me in college lectures. That has helped me, hosting this show. It's helped me a lot, actually. So thank you guys. I really mean it.
Hey man, that was our defense mechanism.
All that there was a good stretch there. All any of us were trying to do was to just not kill ourselves or each other. So, and we barely made it some days, right, Jeff?
I have to tell you, one of my favorite parts of every show was emptying my trombone sled on Jeff's shoes. That he seemed surprised and shocked by every night. 100 nights a year. He seemed like he didn't realize it was going to acting. Yeah.
No, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
You can't. No, man. You can't. You couldn't act. You couldn't fake that level of squirminess. So yeah. Speaking of which, the bonus episode is going to be awesome. So yeah, if you're not, well, to give you a little preview, this was Lance was in the band, so this was obviously pre-Domingo and was pre-William, but we were killing time. I believe we were in Spain, and Jeff really doesn't like pickles, like really doesn't like pickles. I mean, really doesn't like pickles. And we took it was like 45 minutes of because we had 2 hours to kill in between 2 master classes or something like that. We were in a large back room where there was some food and we were sitting around a big table. And anyway, we started this this game, which wasn't a planned thing, but it just kind of organically started okay, would you rather eat blank or a pickle? And
seriously, you're going to talk about
this is not PG, dude.
And no, I'm not going to give any specifics. All I'm going to say is that the line when we knew that we were really getting places was when Chris Castellanos would say, "Oh man," when he would say that out loud. That was when we were and that happened 90 seconds into that 45-minute conversation. That's all I'm going to say is that because I would like to keep my teaching job.
Well, Hitz, you'll be glad to know we gave Jeff the pickle test recently at the New Jersey Music Educators Conference.
Oh, that was his making. That was not Andrew's making.
That was my friend.
That's
Mike
right.
Jacobitz,
Okay,
who's a high school band
that's right.
director.
Well, we got the pickle jar right up there on stage and opened it up, and it stunk to high heaven. And Jeff could barely play. Man. It's messed up.
No, he said,
I put a pickle on his music.
Yeah,
stand.
he put he took
I
his out
should
of
have seen that, man. That was priceless.
take it away. No, I'm going to leave it there.
Jose, I don't appreciate you. I don't appreciate you treating my friend Jeff that way.
No, I know you don't.
My cousin lives in upstate New York, and you guys were playing a show half an hour away, and I found out that her twin sons were going to that concert. This was 2.5 years ago.
I remember that.
I said to her, "Do you have $5? And are you willing to do me a favor?" And she said, yes, and where is this going? And they showed up with a jar of pickles. And so these two kids, these kids are smart. They're devious too. So they hit it and were I think told him it was an honor to meet him, and then handed him pickles. And then I got a photo texted to me, which was these two 10-year-olds who were beaming because they were laughing, and Jeff was flipping me the bird in between the two 10-year-olds, which was awesome. So
for the kids.
For the kids.
For the kids. Yeah.
They still talk about that day. So thank you, Jeff.
Sure.
You're a gift, Jeff Connor.
Do what I can.
It's clear.
That's one way to put it.
We don't. So, do you guys have any recordings? I know that everything is on hold right now, but when do you have any recording sessions that are planned and have had to have been postponed, or where is that in the pipeline?
We have we recorded a CD.
Jeff, he's talking about recording sessions, Jeff. Not a CD. We have CDs. They know we have CDs. They are in some of our CDs.
We did something that we're working on. I don't know. Where's something? Yeah.
That was the first. It took us a while. That was our first really good Jeff Connor
recorded.
That was a full side.
We recorded. It was edited. It's mastered.
Oh, now it's going to the bang game. I said we recorded. Man, it's coming out on a 78 glass recording. Man.
Pickle me timbers.
Man, Jose can play you like a fiddle, man. He's like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, all right, so it's already recorded. It's just hasn't been released yet.
Yes.
Look at him. He's now choosing his words. That wasn't a trap, Jeff. That's once in a row for me. That wasn't a trap. I was actually trying to make sure I understood. What's the holdup? It's probably you, Jeff. So what do you need to do?
I don't know.
No, we're waiting to get. I'm waiting to get notes from William.
Oh, it's William's fault.
And then I gotta
Nice.
I gotta
Hey,
send
new guy.
all of that material to the designer, and then they gotta come up with a design for the whatever.
There you go. And I'm guessing the design thing is probably William's fault too.
No, no, that actually is pretty cool, but I can't tell you that right now.
Can you tell us what's on it, or is that a big secret? Is it a big
No,
release
it's not a big secret.
surprise?
Why don't you tell them, William? William came out with the title.
Yeah, well, we're gonna call the album "Blues for Sam," and it's gonna be a pretty fairly
Nice.
jazz heavy album, and
Nice.
pieces it's gonna feature that "Blues for Ben," the Stanton Moore New Orleans funk tune, kind of where the album title comes
Never
from.
heard of it.
But it's
Nice.
gonna have a couple other old Boston Brass favorites, "Autumn Leaves."
Nice.
And finally, after a long hiatus, "Caravan" is coming back in recording form.
I played that one a couple of times.
You heard that one?
Never heard.
Yeah, I've heard it.
You have an idea how it sounds like, right?
I do. I remember when we played that so much, and then we brought it into the recording session with percussionists, and then there was like two different spots where it's like, you guys are like rushing big time in that spot. Like, oh no, that's us. Yeah, it's funny how you just like kind of learn something one way, and then you get other people who are not privy to the permutations.
What? You can't rush with us?
Yeah,
What?
exactly. Like, geez, we hired the wrong dudes. Yeah, exactly. No.
You can follow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Are we having a conversation here, or are you just like playing in time? Yeah.
Jose did a great arrangement of "Georgia on My Mind." That's awesome. William did some arrangements. Domingo did some arrangements, and Chris did some arrangements.
No pun intended right now.
Huh?
Did you arrange anything?
Did
Tim?
I?
He arranged.
Yeah, that was
He
the
arranged the
question.
CD.
No, I did not arrange anything.
Yes, that was the question.
Did you rearrange
No.
anything?
We're gonna.
He could arrange you to get fed to pigs with those bricktop Harry glasses.
Gotta love a good Fight Club joke. Yeah,
Fight
there
Club?
you go.
No.
That's from Snatch.
That's from Snatch. Thank you. That is from Snatch. Look at you,
Jeff
Jeff.
got it.
Yep, he did.
That's from Snatch. Definitely not my underwear. That's from Snatch. Who's on first?
We're gonna get some emails about being mean to Jeff. There might have been a time when I was on the mic, and I don't remember what town it was. It was some memorable place, and the audience was filled with old people, and I was making fun of Jeff, and I was like doing the thing, and the audience was with me, and I don't remember what I said. I don't think it was the subject matter. I think it was just that I went to that well like maybe 5 times too frequently. And the audience all turned on me. Do you remember this, Jeff? Like they all like all of them like turned on me at once, and like there was like a groan, and I actually said into the mic to a room full of old ladies, I said, "It's okay. Your disapproval makes me feel alive." which the guys behind me laughed so hard that they almost peed themselves, and there was like maybe 10 people in the audience who erupted in laughter because it was like 100 times more enjoyable than anything they were expecting at a classical brass quintet concert. And then the rest of them were all just like, he seemed so nice, and that was the end of it. So, yep. So that was good. Yeah, I found the line and I crossed.
They're just pulling for their generation, man.
So we're looking forward.
Why are they picking on
So
that
we're looking
old guy?
forward to the CD coming out sometime this summer.
Jeff, do you have a CD player?
Yeah.
You have to think about it, because we don't. I'm asking because I have one
It's
in
in
the
the
car.
car.
That's it.
Those are the little little silver records.
Yeah. It's with the VCR. It has it's a DVD.
What?
With the
Well, it's a
VCR.
VCR DVD player.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Cutting edge.
1985, baby.
Do you really have a VCR/DVD player that also plays CDs? Does it play 8 tracks too?
It plays Shadow Puppets.
Margaret, let's look at the Victrola a while.
I think you can play CDs in it. Yeah. And then in the car, play CDs.
Yeah, she.
Why on a pound,
I
dude?
do have a CD player, a Bose radio CD.
Bose Wave Radio from the late 90s. Got that. I've got that.
Yeah, man. See that? See, Lance. I told you William isn't like 12. See, it's like he's got something from the 90s.
Hey,
I do not believe that he lives in Chicago, but I do believe that he has that stereo.
William just muted himself.
Just for safety.
Yeah, he keeps muting himself. Well, he there's also
you can't hear the screams.
Let's just say he likes broccoli. He likes.
I just thought that maybe I've kept his video pinned on the screen because I was assuming, like, if I ask, like, say Chris a question, I was wondering if we were going to get him muttering himself, like, oh yeah, I definitely want to hear him talk more, like, something like that. I thought maybe that's why he was muted, because he's like kind of running color commentary underneath all this, but maybe not. You guys seem to actually get along, which is kind of off-putting. But yeah.
So were there any questions at all that people were asking?
Oh,
we're saving those, man. That's for the bonus episode.
That's for the
Are
bonus
you uncomfortable
episode.
with this non-scripted thing that we're doing?
Because if so, there might be more questions.
I'm just saying.
We do need to ask them to help us with our dear friend Jens. Speaking of which, Chris Castellanos, he's my buddy. He plays the horn in a group called Boston Brass. He posted a photo of himself grilling burgers on his and he's putting it on right now. Look at that. Nice. He's got
Don't kill myself with it.
Don't kill yourself. He's gonna
kill yourself.
He has a
thank you for the
that doesn't work. It doesn't work the other way either.
No, it really doesn't. He has a Pray for Jens cooking apron, which he put on backwards, so he had to twist it to have the thing show, and he almost just choked himself, which would have made for really good radio. But we would like to announce a horn opening for Boston Brass, effective immediately. So thank you. That's a Pray for Jens. That's a Pray for Jens cooking apron, which you can get. We'll link to that in the show notes. You can get mugs, you can get aprons, you can get playing cards.
Pray for Jens.
Yeah, man. So Jens Lindemann, our dear friend, he's been having these chop problems for so many years. Who I know, I have to Google it every once in a while too. Do you guys have any advice for you? I'm guessing that Jose is going to have something priceless here, because we've heard Jeff answer this. We've heard Chris answer this. We've not heard William, Domingo, or Jose. What do you guys have to say for Jens in these desperate times?
Well,
that's the quietest that Jose's ever been.
I love you, Jens.
Oh man, Jens must have some sort of. He knows where the bodies are buried, apparently, because Jose's taking the high road, which is once in a row.
Well, Well, I saw this. I was watching a random video on YouTube recently, and various commercials come up, and they start to get a lot weirder and weirder as your video recommendations change and your
What are you trying to say, man?
as Google learns things about you. So I saw this one recently for this this object that you put in your mouth and you chew it to strengthen your jaw muscles.
What are you talking?
Yeah. I think Jens might need to invest a bit.
It's like a horse bit that you put in your mouth. And the guy's like,
whoa.
Yeah. It doesn't look strange at all. God. It looks perfectly natural.
The fact that it shows up on your thing is like kind of.
Well, yeah. I mean,
can you imagine what's on Jeff's?
Oh my word! Nope. I don't want to know.
Oh boy.
It's the version for the horse.
Oh.
Hey, coming in late, but hot. That's a good one right there.
That's a point for William.
That's a solid one, right up the middle.
That's a point for William. That was a comebacker that almost took the pitcher's head off right there. Yeah, that was good.
That was a good one.
Making sure everybody knows he said horse. Horse.
In Jeff's defense, if you let the YouTube recommendation engine just go, I think by the 10th video, it doesn't matter what you start on, the 10th video is like flat earther stuff. Every single time it doesn't, you could start with My Little Pony, and then it'll end up with flat earther stuff within 10 videos. So
well, that's what Jeff tells his wife.
Yeah. Do you guys remember if Jeff ever called YouTube the YouTube?
The YouTube.
He does
the YouTube.
He does not call it the.
He only did that with Facebook.
The Facebook.
I remember the Facebook.
The Facebook, yeah.
And I remember he was adamant about not being on it, and now he's on all the time. So and when I make fun of him, well, the announcement for this, when I said that for TBJ136 we are joined by 4 incredible guests and Jeff Connor, and he didn't even react. Which my wife saw that and said, that's mean. I was like, well,
he's still got a callus.
Yeah, well, if I wasn't mean to Jeff, Jeff would be worried, right? You'd be like, are you
something's happening, yeah.
Right? How long do you have? Is it weeks or months, or let's talk. So I love you, Jeff. I tried to sound sincere. Did that sound sincere?
As sincere as you ever said.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, I think that we should probably wrap this, and then we're gonna launch into the bonus episode where we've got some listener questions. So, Lance, is there anything else that we need to?
No.
No.
Okay, here's one. Here's one. And both Andrew and Lance.
Hey, Jeff woke up.
Yep, there we go.
And get off my front yard.
Daddy's nap's over.
It's lawn, Jeff, not front yard. Go ahead.
What is?
Get off my front yard. It's lawn. Lawn.
Get off my cul-de-sac and that little grassy part out by the street. The part where that separates the sidewalk from the street.
Get off of my knoll.
What are your favorite road stories?
Well, my favorite PG road story, I think by far, we've told on the podcast before, but it needs to be told again, was when for some reason all 5 of us were in the van together, and you were driving, and Lance was right behind you, and Lance was on his phone probably playing Angry Birds, because there was a 2.5 year period that he was either on stage or playing Angry Birds.
At one point he was number 25 in the world, or something like that, of Angry Birds,
which is totally normal.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I could have learned a language.
So Lance leads, or could have learned trombone. Lance.
That's a better line.
Lance barely leans forward. I mean, he doesn't even stop looking at his phone. He leans forward and he just says, Jeff is driving down the road, and he said, hey, Jeff, let me know when you can feel this. And then he leaned back, and that was the end of it. And Jeff started swatting, and he was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then all of us started laughing. So he thought that something was happening, and he was swatting at both ears because he thought a wet willy was coming. And he was like, he almost drove us off the road. And it was just the most brilliant hijinks I'd ever seen. He literally just said, tell me when you can feel this. And that's it, 7 words. And then he just like leaned back and watched the show. So that's one of my favorites.
I thought you were going to talk about the van one where he had
bug?
the open window.
Oh, in Brazil.
Yeah, when the
That was a good one,
bug
too.
went in his mouth. Yeah, that was
The bug went in his mouth.
That was the best.
And Jose was telling him that this is this special Brazilian bug that lays like 85 eggs.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
That's right.
he was going to be bringing some Brazilian like pests back to the States, and was going to probably like attack his family like locusts. And it was, you know.
He would probably take that any day over a pickle, though.
That's true.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Would you rather eat a bug than a pickle?
Yes.
And then we would like, how about a pickled bug or a pickle?
Ooh, that's tougher.
They're both a pickle.
You got it.
It's so yeah.
Oh God.
So the story that came to mind when you asked me was when were we in Wichita? When we were in the green room and the presenter came into the green room with us and cut one bad
in the middle of a sentence.
He's like talking, and then it's like honk, and he just keeps talking. Like I guess what are you gonna do, right? And so we are just trying to figure out.
We were looking at each other. We were looking
now?
at each other like, did he really? Did we just?
What
I
happened?
froze, and then he wrapped up, and then he quietly like walked out, and then I waited. It was like a 5 Mississippi count, and then it was like this. I was laughing so hard there were tears streaming down. I didn't know if I could get on stage. I didn't know if I could walk on stage. Yeah, that was
What should I call that in the show notes? The Wichita. Let's see.
The Wichita win.
The Wichita leave behind.
Are we sure he wasn't related to JD?
That's a good point. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that was a good.
That was that was pretty good.
Cool.
Yep. So, well, there you go, Jeff. Thanks for apparently Jeff is now a co-host. So, do you want to
No, I was just
That was good.
just curious. Those are good stories.
I'll pay you.
Yeah.
I'll pay you just as much as I pay Lance, and Lance will pay you just as much as he pays me. How's that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll pay you double what I pay Andrew.
Thanks. Yeah, you're a peach. So yeah.
And
Anyway.
man, Chris Bill changed his background again.
Oh, did he?
Now there's
True.
no
Yeah,
picture.
now it looks like.
Oh
he's
no,
in
now
Kenya.
that's his place allegedly. At least that's the background that he had last time. So yeah, when we spoke to him, when we knew he was going to be free 7 minutes later, so I just texted him, was like, "We're interviewing you in 7 minutes," and he was like, "Okay." So yeah. Oh, he's not laughing. That's not funny. There you go. I've crossed the line with Christopher. All right. So for those of you wondering why Chris Bill is just
There we go.
Yeah, man.
Too soon, man.
Hey,
Too
there
soon.
it
Yeah,
is.
man.
for those of you who are wondering why Chris Bill is just like randomly just randomly on the call, we are actually doing this live for a whole bunch of Patreon patrons. So which is great. And so thank you to all of them for joining us. And there's a little JD Shaw action for me. There you go. Working with the actually it's not big enough that I can't see which chord it is, and I'm not gonna hit it wrong. So
And Ivory.
Hey, patrons, I really want to apologize on behalf of Boston Brass.
well, they I'm guessing that they probably expected it. It's not like when we've
Hey, Ellen's on here, man. What up, Ellen?
the
I know Ellen.
so anyway, we're gonna wrap this here, and no, it's time, and then because we're not gonna keep you here all night, because I'm sure you guys all have lots of gigs to play. Oh wait, no, none of us do. Anyway, I know. I laugh so I don't cry. So, all right. Thank you very much to Boston Brass for joining us. It was really great to talk to most of you, and I hope that we can do this again sometime soon.
Not me.
Thanks, man.
I love watching, in particular, it's Jeff's face. Like when Jose and I get along really, really well now. Like we're actually like quite close, but we'll just say that wasn't always the case. And I always love seeing Jeff when Jose and I are being nice to each other, because he's always just waiting, and he's just kind of waiting.
It's just gonna happen, yeah.
He's just waiting, and he's waiting, and that's like I think my favorite part. So anyway,
Jeffy 10 and 2, baby.
Jeffy 10 and 2. So
that's right.
All right, that is gonna do it for another episode of the Brass.
You've been listening to The Brass Junkies on the Pedal Note Media Podcast Network. If you would like to hear the bonus episode featuring today's guest, please visit patreon.com/thebrassjunkies to learn how you can support the show and instantly access all bonus materials, as well as gain access to a special patron-only Facebook group. The Brass Junkies is produced by the amazing, wonderful, and truly inspirational Will Houchin. The theme music was composed by Fernando Dados and performed by Andrew Hitz and Lance LaDuke. We are at Pray for Jens on Twitter and Instagram, and have a Facebook page at facebook.com/prayforjens. You can find out more about the Brass Junkies and all the other Pedal Note Media podcasts at pedalnotemedia.com. This has been a presentation of the Pedal Note Media Podcast Network.